Greetings, everybody. Today, I'm taking the big jump, the big leap. I'm going to make my very first brew, a simple cider. Welcome to Bag End Brewer. If you watched the first video that I made, which was an introduction, and I did an unboxing of the gear that I got in order to make my first 1 gallon batch of cider. Today, I'm taking the leap. You can see it is the first day of winter. You can tell because Christmas decorations are up. I'm not sure when I'll be posting this video because I'm trying to get a few of them in the pipeline to be able to keep a regular schedule of videos. We all know that to find a channel and you want to watch it and then all of a sudden they're not putting out videos for a long time, that's kind of aggravating. And so I want to try and keep that from happening. So here we go. I think I have all the equipment, all the necessities in order to brew up this, this cider, a simple cider, just using store-bought apple juice and various items that I got off of Amazon. I'll put a link down below to all the things that I'm using today. But first, we have to sanitize everything before we can even get started. So come on over here to the sink with me, and we'll get started on some over here to the sink. What I'm going to do is 2 gallons of water. And I'm going to use this big container and this small container. This is 64 ounces, so I need to fill this up 4 times. So let's see here. Where's the markings? There we are, 64. This is interesting. Here's 1. And 2. 3, and I hope the 4th one fits in here because I want to save my Star San mixture in here for when we do secondary or the first rack, right? Well, let's see. Please fit, please fit, please fit. Oh yeah, just. All right, 2 gallons of water. And I need Star San. Now, Star San takes, where is it? Here it is. Star San is 1 ounce per 5 gallons. So I had to call up the big guns, which is my wife, to tell me how many ounces is for 2 gallons. And it turns out to be 0.4. So that's just under a half gallon. How do you do this? I've never used this thing before. There's a half gallon, ounce. I'm nervous. My first brew. And that should be about right. Again, I don't know if you can't see that. Anyway, it's just below the ½ ounce mark. Double checking myself. They say that you can't goof up a cider. I could goof up a cider. So pour that in there. All of it. And a lot of people say you can reuse your mixture, your sanitizing fluid for a little bit. And so I'm hoping that in the next 2 weeks when I get ready to rack this, that this solution will still be good in order to use it at that time. Let's just kind of, oh, no, that's not good. See, I told you I could goof things up. Okay, I'm not gonna mix it up that well because I'm gonna transfer it into, let's move this aside here. Man, that's heavy. What's that, 16 pounds? Let's get this stuff out of my container so that I can go ahead and start sanitizing. Airlock, I will separate that from the bung. That came with my hydrometer. I think it's just a cleaning cloth. Okay, we'll take out the hydrometer and lay that ever so gingerly right there. Graduated cylinder and my 1 gallon carboy. Take out my bubble wrap. I did wash this out yesterday. I washed everything and then dried it, so this should be well, or good. Let's go ahead and, how do I want to do this? Pour this in there. We'll time-lapse this. Besides, this pouring is going to mix up that Star San. It's making it very bubbly. I don't recall it being very bubbly when I see other people do this, so let's take off this lid. Hooray for time-lapse. Set this aside. All right, now I am going to sanitize this little saucepan because I am going to heat up a mixture of some apple juice and throw in some raisins. You know, I want to do everything as naturally as possible, and so I'm not adding any yeast nutrient. A lot of people say apple cider doesn't really need it anyway, but we're gonna find out, aren't we? So I'm gonna sanitize this saucepan because I don't plan on boiling. I plan on just bringing the juice to a simmer. I don't want to change the properties of the juice at all. I'll go ahead and put in my graduated cylinder. Go ahead and fill up there, graduated cylinder. My hydrometer. That thing doesn't sink. It's standing up. Put in my airlock and the bung. And I will put in these scissors in order to cut open the yeast. Do I need to put the yeast packet in there? Is it bad to put it in? This is cold water. I'm gonna do it. I will put in my little half teaspoon and a 1/4 cup measurement. I have a spoon to stir. And if I can fit in this little cup here, I'll show you what I'm gonna do with that in a little bit. Okay, that's all I can fit for right now. We're gonna let this sit for 2 minutes and then it should be fine. 25 seconds to go. It's a waiting game. All right, 2 minutes. Let's take this stuff out and let it start draining here. Don't rinse it off. That's what everybody's saying. Don't fear the foam. That's another common refrain. Tongue, scissors, airlock. Okay, fine. Mixing cup or yogurt cup, whatever those are. Le spoon. And hydrometer. Graduated cylinder. I am gonna put that upside down. You know, I'm putting this upside down too. And my little saucepan. Where can I put you? Please, nobody break the hydrometer. Please, everybody play nice with it. Funnel. Put the funnel in there. Give that 2 minutes. And do I need to sanitize these? I mean, it can't hurt, right? Okay, we'll put that in there. I'll put the other one in later. It'll be a little bit before we get to that one. Also, I have a handy dandy notebook so that I can make notes of exactly what I did. And then, of course, the original gravity reading. Don't need to worry about that just yet. Again, get another towel. And before I started, I did disinfect and clean the countertop up here as well. So hopefully nothing is going to get in that can contaminate the brew. 10 seconds. Yay. All right, we'll take these out. My funnel. This apple juice. Set that there. And I'll put in my 1 gallon glass carboy. Get that filled up. Okay, and we'll do some, where's my other towel? We'll do some shaking around inside of that to make sure that it's all around the inside here in just a moment. Let's put the timer on for 2 minutes on that. Now, what I want to do is take a gravity reading of just the juice. So my funnel. Because I'm thinking of adding just a little bit of brown sugar, just a little bit, maybe 1/4 cup. I'm hoping, by doing that, what I'm hoping is that I can get just a little bit of flavor from that. Okay, is that going to be high enough? That's very bubbly. That's from the Star Sand. And I'll put that funnel back in when I'm done with this carboy. All right, drop this in here. Give it a spin. There's a lot of, that's a heck of a lot of foam. I can't see that. But so far it's looking like it might be where I want it anyway. There's a lot of sugar in that. From what I've watched on YouTube, and a lot of people get an initial gravity reading of 1.046-ish. I gotta wait for those bubbles to die down. In the meantime, let's give this a shake. Oh, 2 minutes. And just put it back in there just for... I hear you, alarm. All right, what to do, what to do. Bubbles? So I may not add that brown sugar. Let's empty this out. That's a heck of a lot of foam. Don't fear the foam. That's a lot. Don't fear that much foam? Okay, don't fear the foam. I'm not going to fear the foam. Let's put my funnel back in. What did I do to make it that foamy? Did I do anything, or is that natural, normal? Was it because I had it in the one container and then poured it into this container? Perhaps I should have just poured my 2 gallons of water right into here and then mixed the Star Sand. Somebody let me know in the comments below. Yeah, that is so close to 1.050 that that's what I'm going to call it. So let's go ahead and turn here in here. Okay. Simple cider. And this is December 21st. 18 OG 1.050. Now, according to this little thing, which you, of course, we all have been told that you cannot go by this. I mean, we're looking at, hopefully about a 5% alcohol. It could be 5.5, I doubt it. Usually, what everybody says is it comes out a little bit lower than that. I'm going to try one more time because the foam is going down. You know what? It might be 1.408. I don't know. It looks like 1.050 to me. All right. So what we're going to do then is take out my funnel, put this other bottle in here. I'm going to divide this two ways. The first thing that I'm going to do is pour some into this yogurt mixer thing, and a little bit more. And then the rest of this I'm going to put in the saucepan. Pour it down the side there. I don't know that it really matters. And I'm going to start warming that up, because I'm going to add some raisins. And these are sun-made California dried raisins. And the ingredients say California seedless raisins. So there is nothing other than raisins in here. So they should be not sprayed with anything. No preservatives or anything like that. They should not contain any oil on the outside of them. We're going to just warm those up a little bit, clean them up, and then kind of smash them and get some of the raisiny parts. What I'm hoping, correct me if I'm wrong, is that the skins of those grapes will add a little bit of a tannic quality to my cider. Now, what I'm going to do with this cup here is I'm going to rehydrate my yeast. Of course, this packet, says just pour right on top of the must, a whole packet for 5 gallons. I'm not doing 5 gallons. I'm doing 1 gallon. And from what I read, everybody says about a half a tablespoon for a gallon. Of course, people say you can put more in there, or you can put less, and if everything's good, if there's enough nutrients and enough juice and the yeast doesn't get stressed, it'll just colonize and do what yeast does. But this is a little trick that I learned from Brian on City Steading, is to rehydrate your yeast so that you can get an indication of if it's alive and working. So we're going to put just a rounded half a teaspoon in there. Won't need that again, but I can reuse this, and so I need to seal that up, which I will do shortly. And we're going to stir this around. And from what I'm told is you may see, you're looking for getting a little bit of bubbling action after it sits for 5, 10, 15, 20 minutes or so. All right, this is starting to heat up a little too fast. So let me set this over to the side, and we're going to add just about a palmful of raisins. Yeah, they are sticky boogers. Put those in there. Maybe a few more. Maybe a few more than that. All right, that's what we'll do. And I get a treat for myself. And that's wonderful. My camera battery died. I knew I should have plugged it into the wall before I started, and I don't know where it died. So this may be a very strange edit right here. Okay, to recap, I have a little bit of apple juice here in this saucepan. I threw in a handful of raisins to soften those up, and then we need to let that cool down before we even think of mixing it. So let me show you here. with my second camera, which isn't really a second camera, it's my iPad. There we go, little raisins in there. It's giving off a little bit of steam, just letting it simmer steep, I guess. That's about it. I don't know how long it would, I don't know how long it would take to get the raisins at the right consistency. Smash those up here. Give it a little bit more heat. Okay, so I know next time, plug in the camera. My hydrometer, it should be ready. Are you doing anything, yeast? And dumb me, I left this other apple juice open. Hope that doesn't goof anything up. Let's put the funnel back in. Am I going to be able to get this to simmer? Let's get my spoon. Sanitize my hands real quick. I've been touching stuff. Just want to smash these up. That's what Craig Faraway of CraigTube said. Let's check on our yeast. Is it doing anything? I don't see anything. It's at the bottom. I feel like Uncle Dursley in the first Harry Potter book and film, especially the film, when they're at the zoo and Dudley's very angry that the snake isn't doing anything. So Uncle Vernon raps on the window, "Move!" I feel like saying that to the yeast. Move! All right, that's enough. Taking that off the heat. Did change the color a little bit. I hope that's raisins. Okay, we have to let that cool down. Can't add that to our mix until it is. Don't want to kill the yeast. Although, I'm going to be putting a lot of juice in there. That should change the temperature pretty easy. Wouldn't you say? Well, let's get back to talking about Bag End Brewer, the name of this channel. I was going to call it Beginning Brewer because I will always consider myself a beginning brewer. There's just too much to know, and I'm already old, and even if I brew once a week or once a month for the rest of my life, there's just too much stuff to know, and so I'm always a beginning brewer. I'm not the guy to come to for answers, is basically what it comes down to. But I chose Bag End Brewer because of because of the type of brewing I want to do, and that's very simple brewing. And B, because I'm a Middle Earthling. I'm a fan of J.R.R. Tolkien and Middle Earth, and the influences that he had that went into creating Middle Earth, whether that's Beowulf or the Kalevala, many other epics and myths and things such as that. But I really identify with hobbits. And so I want to create brews that I think that they would drink in the Shire. And they didn't have any of the clearing agents and all of those tabs and chemical doodads and things and yeast nutrients. Well, in fact, they probably didn't even know about yeast, right? But regardless, I just want to keep these things simple and tie it into my love of fantasy. That already made a reference to Harry Potter. That's another, I'm part of that fandom as well. And so not only are we going to be making brews, so the next one that I plan on doing is a simple mead, a hydromel, really a lower ABV mead. I'd like to do a Cider, which is, it's cider and mead put together. It's your honey and apple juice instead of water. We'll make a Cider. I'd like to do a ginger beer. But I also am going to introduce food to this channel because what do hobbits like doing even better than drinking their favorite ales is eating their favorite foods. And so I'd like to just make it an all-encompassing type of a channel. So there you go. There's some background information, which I actually talked about in the introductory video anyway. Yeast, are you doing anything? Should I expect to see them doing anything? Somebody please tell me that this is going to be good. All right. So we know that if I just use the apple juice by itself, I have an original gravity reading of pretty close to 1.050, might be 1.048. I know not to fear the foam. There's still a whole lot of foam in here, but what we're going to do in the meantime, while we're waiting for my raisins to cool down, is I'm going to go ahead and add my cider to my 1 gallon carboy. And I don't have to say 1 gallon carboy. You can see it's a 1 gallon carboy. So I'm going to try and remember to just say carboy. I'll forget. I shall repeat myself. I can feel that star sand in little tiny cuts in my fingers. Is that right? Let's go ahead and add this. And I don't know about you. This is Sam's Club, Sam's Choice. They're not a sponsor, but I think it's pretty good. Okay, I'm gonna go ahead and put my how are you supposed to get this lid off? Do you have to manhandle it? Please don't break. I don't see threads. Do I? There are not threads on there. Maybe you aren't supposed to even try to take it off. So let's see if we can get that filled up with some star sand. Oh, max. I went over the max. So I don't need to take that thing off. Let's go ahead and put that in there for right now. I'd love to stick my finger in there and feel it. Oh, that ain't bad. Okay. Let's go ahead and add that. And I'm going to put the raisins in there and all. They should settle out, right? And of course, we got a backlog. All right. All of those in there. And start adding a little bit more of this apple juice to get make sure the temperature is down. Spill. Okay. Yeah, the temperature should be a-okay. So, I don't know how good rehydrating this yeast went. I don't see anything happening in there. That worries me, but we're gonna go ahead and toss it in. And now, put the bung in. This is the part that makes me nervous. We're gonna shake it up. Get that all mixed up and get some oxygen in there. Oh, I'm excited. And top her up. How far do you say? How much headroom do I need? Tell me when to stop. Should I stop? I'm gonna stop. I'm gonna put a little bit more. How much more do you want? How much more? 1 gallon. It says 1 gallon right there, but that doesn't mean that that's a gallon, but that could be a good, I think that's enough. I'm gonna stop. Can you hear my girls talking in the other room? Take that out, put that in. Oh. What? Oh no. Is it because it's wet? What do I do? It's slipping out. Okay, what am I supposed to do about that? Again, feel free to tell me all the things that I've done wrong here on my first brew, but do it nicely, all right? What in the world? Well, and there you have it. My first time brewing anything. And I hope I didn't goof it up. But we'll check back and see what it's doing. I'll give you updates on this one, and hopefully in about 2 weeks I'll be able to go ahead and rack it into my other carboy. Once I rack it into the other carboy, then I'll make a mead, or a hydromel, more specifically. So again, thank you for watching. Please, if you liked it, give me a thumbs up. And if you want to follow my adventures in Bag End Brewing here, go ahead and subscribe and click the bell icon down there. You'll get notified each time I upload a new video. And as I said, you can please feel free to tell me all the things that I did wrong down below. Just again, do it. I'm going to insist that people are nice in the comments below. I want this to be a fun channel where we can all learn from each other and enjoy the fruits of our labor, literally. All right, thank you for watching. I'll talk to you next time. Did I tell you my name? I'm Michael. Yeah, there you go, Michael, the Bag End Brewer. It's been about 40 hours since I brewed this cider, and let me tell you what's been going on in that time. Nothing happened the first night, and I was nervous. All the foam from shaking and agitating and aerating and whatever star sand was left in there all died down, and I check it the next morning and there's nothing. And I believe it was that evening I noticed a little bit of foam around the edge of the bottle. What is it called, Croissant, Croissant line, and nervous, very nervous. And so I look up online and stuff, and I was doing things correctly. I'm doing a very cold fermentation. It's staying in the low 60s here. I'm in my studio upstairs, and I have the carboy underneath my desk, as you can see over my shoulder right there. And also that bung, I cannot get that bung to stay in. It just keeps slipping up. And I don't know what the deal is with that. I mean, when there's nothing in the carboy, it sticks just fine. But anyway, so I don't know if that was star sand or what is making that bung slip up. And well, then last night I did notice, hey, this is producing bubbles, and the bubbles are popping and whatnot. And so came and checked it this morning. So about 38 hours or so. We're about 40 hours, if I didn't already say that. About 40 hours after I made the concoction behind me. What is this? It's a must now, right? Apple cider is not a what's the word I'm looking for? Boy, I'm getting old. Cider and wine are a must, right? Anyway, wort is the word that I was looking for. That's only for beer, right? Well, so I came up and I pushed down that stopper, that bung, and it started bubbling, the airlock. And so tried to shove it back down in there, but it slips up and no action in the airlock. And I know that's all right, and I know that the CO2 was escaping out around the bung. I'm just hoping that nothing was able to get in there. And I figure it's acting like either like the Mr. Beer system or the Cooper's big 5-gallon bucket, where they don't use an airlock, they just use the lid, and so it lets the CO2 out of the lid, but then the lid falls down and makes a seal and nothing can get in. I'm hoping that's what took place, but we'll find out in a couple of weeks or so, or however long the primary is going to be. So let me go ahead and give you a shot and show you exactly what's going on here in this carboy. Well, underneath my desk, and you can see that the raisins have turned back into grapes, and there's foam and there's action on top and all that good stuff. And now that I tied down the bung, here's the airlock. A lot of action. I'm hoping that everything is all right. I know that you will let me know if it's otherwise in the comments below on this video. So there's our update. Next time I'll see you will be probably a couple of weeks after this. What's today? Well, tomorrow's Christmas Eve. Obviously, we won't be drinking cider for Christmas Eve. And then I need to rack it into secondary and decide what I'm going to do with this cider. So thanks for watching, and we will see you next time here on the Bag End Brewer. I think I'm going to put "the" in front of it. That way, that's me, the Bag End Brewer. We'll talk to you next time.